Welcome to Blue K Jazz Dance. Yes, we can talk about our acts of achievements and we can create learning materials so other people can learn from it. One of the key things, I'm an advanced dance leader of many different styles, but what I've chosen to specialize in the style I brought up for over 45 years now in 2020 is UK Jazz Dance. UK Jazz Dance is a broader term for a number of UK undergraduate dance styles. Now, mine is unique because, and it's most inclusive, it includes ballet, contemporary, tap, tango, flamenco, Russian dancing, Cossack dancing as an individual, martial arts. It incorporates, put its way, a lot of different dances and a lot of research. And as a person, I'm basically my legacy, I'm a legendary pioneer, champion, and ambassador of my own art form and my own culture. I went out there saying, this is me, defining and distinguishing. And I was saying, yes, we can distinguish ourselves because the dance form never started from a perspective of a studio. It started from dancers, parents passing steps to them, ancestors passing steps to the parents, and then passing steps to the children. And they were different. Everybody had their own style. What happened was the whole element was dancing to music that was influenced by jazz in your own way, in your own time, etc. Every dancer created his own culture. Every dancer created his own healthy lifestyle, his approach to being in it. And I'm the first person to start to talk about the acts of achievement and create learning materials. And what I want to share with individuals is my journey through dance, very much in a short way. As an individual, I was taught to use dance for my health and well-being. That's how it is: maintain my health, use it for healing, and use it to improve your quality of life and improve other people's quality of life, because I taught millions of other people how to dance as an individual growing up, because there were so many different dances that are out there: disco, ska, soul, R&B, dancing, blues dancing, all sorts of dancing. I grew up social dancing. I taught other people as an individual, and other people taught me. So dancers empowering each other. What happened was, as an individual, I recognized its power to ease my pain that I went through as a person who was violently bullied, as an individual in life, ease my pain of hunger. What happened? You self-mastered to learn how this dance could be used in so many ways. As an individual, it bonded me with my friends. It built camaraderie with me and other people, other cultures. Went abroad, dance proved my quality of life in an overwhelming way. Anyway, cut long story short, because I had shyness as an individual, I had loads of social phobias, being put on the spot, I had problems with special education needs. I decided to create a one-boy show, and that one-boy show changed my life because I did many things in that show. I created it, I wrote it, I composed for it, I directed. I sort of designed my clothes, etc., etc. I never knew I was doing many different leadership. I wore many different leadership hats at the time, and I didn't know in the future that would make me confident in what I was doing. A lot of people asked me to teach them how to dance, etc., and that brought me out as a person who was shy, who was timid, who had social phobias, had other types of phobias as an individual. As a person with dyslexia, I never knew that it had an impact on actually in fighting the symptoms, the stress that dyslexia was creating for me in my life as an individual, because I struggled all my life with failing exams, etc., having disorientations, psychosomatic illnesses, which came from having dyslexia. And most important, I didn't know dyslexia actually weakened your immune system. So I had a lot of illnesses growing up, nosebleeds. I had a lot of migraine, headaches, because I was asked to look at white paper 24/7, or people said to me I'm lazy, so they make me look at a book 24/7 when my head was hurting me. So I had a lot of migraines, and really intense migraines. Now, cut long story short, what happened as an individual, my whole element was to be a barrister first, cricketer, and a dance entertainer. I seen jazz musicals. I wanted to do that as part of my life always. As an individual, diminished was the barrister. Then I started to become an RAF pilot. From 8 till 26, I wanted to become an RAF pilot. I went down that road, failed exams, etc., etc. But I used dance. I did dance events, productions, producing, directing, all them things. I said to you, I always wanted to do that. But I did that to raise funds, etc. I was an engineering, YTS engineering student. I did well in engineering as an individual, and I got offered a job as a draftsman. But I didn't want to be in a factory. Factory was horrible. As an individual, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer in the RAF, do an aeronautical degree, and then be an RAF officer pilot and fly the world, etc. These are the dreams I had. Anyway, cut long story short, I was part of a youth group called Manchester Youth Group from 83 to 86, doing contemporary dance. I took it seriously. I had two groups: Manchester Youth Dance Centre Juniors and Manchester Youth Dance Centre Seniors. I used to go both of the classes Monday and Tuesday. And many people didn't know I was already doing ballet, contemporary, classes. I was doing stage jazz dance because I wanted to be a musical theatre stage director, producer, choreographer, composer. All these things was in my life already. What happened was, when I got offered a job as a draftsman with a company called Holden and Brook, as an individual, I didn't want to do that job. And then what happened was, I was still at college doing an ONC. And what happened was simply Manchester Youth decided that Manchester Youth going to develop it to an actual professional company, and they wanted members, they wanted co-founders. So I thought, I don't want to do this job in the draftsman. I'm a great dancer already. I'm already dancing at all these places. It makes sense to use my skill and my talent in dance. So that's what I did. So I joined Gestures, I co-founded the first ever contemporary dance company in Manchester. And it was cleverly thought out, because what happened, we had a 70% budget for touring. Now you have to understand, most companies were unaware to the fact, if you don't have touring, you're going to struggle as a company. And we had that already. We had funding for it, everything. What happened with the company was simply they lost their touring funding, and which was a social injustice to us. Overnight, we were being paid for performing, and next minute we weren't being paid. The 25% was for educational work, but we had to have people asking us to do educational work to pay us, so we didn't have that. So we had to wait, promote ourselves as educators, and that we had to wait for that, and people didn't have money, etc. So it led to members of the group, first a member of the group leaving because of a child as an individual, and then another member left for different reasons. A female member left for different reasons. That wasn't to do with funding. That was to do with relationship things. It was my girlfriend, actually. She thought I was competing against her. To save our relationship, she left, but I was not competing against her as an individual. She wasn't aware I had dyslexia, and I struggled with dyslexia. I never didn't do certain exercises or spend a lot of time trying to remember moves as an individual. I wouldn't be able to realise and form potential. She thought I was competing against her, but I was putting a lot of hours in. Because my girlfriend was one that she liked to dance, but when she's left dancing world, she goes home. She doesn't has nothing to do with dance. Where I was in two worlds. I was in the world of social dancing and the world of stage dancing. So when I left the stage dance and went to the social world at home, and she thought I was competing against her, and she left the company. That's what happened. Cut a long story short, the company still was very clever in what it did. The teacher was very exceptional at doing educational work, and a lot of educational work flooded to us, and we became leaders of educational work as an individual, and we start to create our own touring work later on. And I stayed with the company from 86 to 88, and then I got injured. But because of my age, I had to start to think. I was a father, I had to think about the future. I couldn't go through what I went through before. Do you know what I'm saying? Money lost for touring and all that sort of thing. I had to make a decision where I wanted to go, and I had my hands in many pies. What happened, I got injured, and what happened was I went for what is called a musculoskeletal test. Basically, I shouldn't do ballet anyway. I was doing ballet as it was prerequisite in our company, but basically my toes overlapped, and I had knee problems. I should never be doing ballet from the beginning. So what I decided, I can do other dance styles. I was already the lead administrator, lead dancer of Cantamanto, and so what happened, I was doing that voluntary. So it was in a voluntary capacity, it wasn't paid work. But what happened when I left Gestures, the Northwest Arts called me in and told me, look, you've been successful in the commercial world with Cantamanto. If we give you funding to do a 3-year business plan with you at the helm of it, getting paid, would you do the business plan and we'll give you funding to do it? So 88, 89, I took that opportunity, which was a great opportunity to do a business plan. And basically it wasn't a business, it was a sustainable plan, because it was a sustainable plan working with the Arts Council. They gave me an amazing coach called Adrian Mealing, and he'd been successful. He was getting funding. His groups that he had were getting 150,000 a time, and we were getting £6,000. So me working was brilliant. But I went to Manchester Business School, and I went to other places to do with business, because I'm a person that looks at different types of training. Cantamanto was coming from a whole different place. So I created that. And what happened, I expected to be the arts administrator, but what happened was my teacher was away in America. I thought that he was going to endorse it, but he came home. He wanted to retire from drumming and go back to Ghana and retire, and wanted to get married and all that sort of thing. So what happened, that business plan could not happen. So I started to look round. I'd come to an amazing point doing this business plan. My mind had been broadened, I'd been expanded. I'd been in Manchester Business School. I'd been with Adrian Mealing. Northwest Arts gave me funding. I thought, you know what? I need to think about what I'm going to do next. And what you do, you always go with what you talent, what's the best you're good at. And that was dancing. I decided I'm going to go to do a dance teacher training course. Now what happened, I had no qualifications in dance, people, only about experience, and there was no course in Manchester that did a foundation degree into dance. I had no A levels. That would take 2 years, and I wasn't going to do that. I didn't need to. I've been a professional dancer. So what happened was I got advised, try to find a foundational course, a degree course into dance, and there was very few, and I found one in Bedford with a leading dance teacher, and I wanted to be a dance teacher, the first ever black male secondary dance teacher. But I didn't want to do that only. I wanted to have a school of dance, and I knew getting these qualifications, I expected myself to do ISTD. I was going to do everything to do with dance now. That was it. Because what happened, I was getting so many blocks. I wanted to stop the blocks. There's so many barriers put up, and I didn't have no ISTD. I didn't have this and that. So anyway, I went to an audition, and it was an audition. I had to compete against many people, and I successfully got a place at Bedford. But what happened was, my girlfriend, I wanted her to come with me at a house. I wanted us to lodge out the house and come with me, etc. She was against me going, and basically I lived with her, and I was a father